Hey guys, so on Snapchat or on Instagram, I asked what kind of video you guys wanted to see, and I do live feeds on my Instagram a ton, and I ask a bunch of questions, and I answer a bunch of questions, and you get excited, and we just kind of interact. So I asked what you guys wanted to see, and everyone said story time. So I gave a bunch of different options as to what I could talk about. As you can tell by this title, I'm going to talk about a school that was located in a mental hospital that I had to go to. If everything works out correctly, my thumbnail is going to be somewhat better than my other ones. I don't know if it's going to go well. Hopefully it does. I don't know. It could just be like, what is that, you know? If it looks like trash, I apologize, but I'm hoping it's going to look kind of cool. I'm actually using Snapchat to do it, so we'll see. We shall see. Anyway, I asked you guys on Instagram. You guys can go follow me at coolmom_, at coolmom_98. 2 is spelled out, and 98 is the numerals, or numbers. And so I'm just going to tell you guys about why I had to go to this mental hospital school and what it was like. So basically we have a state hospital here, and it's just a big ground, and on it is where they keep a lot of the mentally psychopaths. I don't know what to call them. Not psychopaths, but psychotic people. I don't know, like bless me, I'm sick, really sick. I don't know what they're called, but that's where a lot of the people like messed up like that go. What it was it was an old building. There was tunnels underneath, and there was old tales that if you went down there, you could hear stuff, and there was ghosts and things like that, and you know, it was just stuff like that. And basically, it was just a very confined building. There was a room for the elementary, a room for the middle school, and then there was a room upstairs for the high school. I think they switched classrooms, but none of the other ones did. So in my room, there was a teacher, and a teacher, different sections of the room. One teacher taught like history, social studies, some reading, some like that. The other teacher was mainly like reading and English, and then there was a math teacher. At this school, you were allowed to be restrained. They could restrain you, they could call the cops on you, they could do whatever they had to do to stop you from hurting yourself or hurting others. I have been restrained, and I'm going to talk about that in this the story time. There was also a room, and it was cement. It was a fully cement room. There was cement walls, ceiling, and floor. The door was like metal, very heavy metal or steel, and there was just a window about this big that you could see out of, and they could look into you. When kids went into this room, they would poop and wipe it all over the walls, and themselves, they would make themselves vomit. They would pee all over everything in there. There was nothing in there, but they would pee all over the walls, and it was just very, very nasty. They did some nasty stuff in there. I actually went to school with a kid who tried to commit suicide with a pencil. I guess he tried to cut himself with a pencil, and he tried to hang himself and choke himself with a shoelace. He had gotten in trouble and was very mentally ill and was very upset, and when he got angered, he would hurt himself and others. And after restraining him and moving him to a room like that one, the only things he had with him was a pencil and a shoelace, and so he tried to use those to kill himself. He did not succeed, and I believe he ended up getting instituted for that. When I first started out that school, well, let's talk about why I went there. I had to go there my 8th grade year, and after my grandma got sick, she got sick in September, and after she had her stroke and stuff, I just rebelled really bad, and I didn't technically do anything. I brought cigarettes and a lighter to school, which I had been doing the whole school year. But this time, there was someone whom I know personally smoking in the theater. And at the time that her and her friend were smoking, I was out of class because I was in the bathroom using it, trying to not have to go home again, because I had already left one day and went home because I couldn't bear to be at school because of my grandma. And so I had used the bathroom, and so I was out at that time. When I got back to class, they sent me to the office, and basically they just talked to me, and the officer told me what had happened, and I was like, I wasn't even by the theater, like, you can watch the tapes and see that I'm in this bathroom. And they was like, well, we know that you were out of class at this time, so we're assuming it was you. And I was like, that's kind of bullshit, but whatever. So I was really upset anyway. I was very stressed out because of my grandma and stuff, and basically he asked me if I had cigarettes and a lighter on me, and I said yes because I did, and that's why I was like basically accused of it. He said, I've already seen them in your pocket, and I said okay. He goes, can I have them? And I was like, why? Do you want to smoke them? Like, they're mine. He's like, well, where did you get them? And I was like, I'm not gonna fucking tell you that. Like, I was a really bad kid. And fast forward to that whole day, I almost got arrested because I wasn't complying. I wouldn't keep my feet off the principal's desk, and I was just very, very attituded. He made me stand up, and I was like, what, you gonna arrest me? Like, I was very, very bad, and he told me that he wouldn't write me a ticket for a paraphernalia ticket if I would just comply and shut up, basically, and do what I was told, and of course, I wouldn't do it, so I did get a ticket, which then went on to my record, which should be cleared by now because I'm 18, so that's nice, but it was on my record. And that's when we just decided that that school would be best. I didn't function well. I was still in trouble at that school, so my vice principal at the time, whom I loved, sent me to that school, and everything started out well, and then for some unfucking godly reason, Drew's dad got sent there, and I got the blame for that, because apparently he started acting out just so he could be sent there to be with me. I don't fucking know. Everything was pretty okay, and then I acted out really bad. I would get sent into a cubby, which is like a timeout. You just go to the cubby. And I would stay there all day and every day, over and over and over again, because I wouldn't do work, I wouldn't listen, I wouldn't do anything, I would sleep, I just didn't do anything. The cubby itself was not bad, honestly. It was pretty nice. It was excluded from everyone. And one day, I was in timeout, and the bell had rang, and it was time to go, so I got up. And the teacher told me to stay there, that I was finishing my timeout because I had 5 minutes left. And I said, I'm not finishing it, I am leaving. It might have been like 2 minutes. I said, I'm leaving, the bell rang, that dismisses me. And she said, you're not leaving, you're going to finish your timeout, so you don't have to do it in the morning. And I was like, I'm not. So I got up, and I went to walk to get something, and they told me to sit back down, and I told them no. So two of the teachers, one grabbed one arm, one grabbed the other, and I flung the teacher and knocked her on her ass, basically. Because I was like, don't fucking touch me. Like, I don't let people touch me anyway now. And so I got restrained. I finally gave up from fighting it because that shit hurts. They basically take your arms behind your back, and they will bend your wrists like this and continuously bend and bend and bend and bend until you stop. And then they have a teacher lay across your legs. You have one teacher on each arm and then a teacher across your legs. Sometimes the leg is off your back. Kids have actually sprained their wrists from this. They have gotten road rashes all over their face because of this. They've gotten injured. Kids would throw desks and chairs at teachers. They would try to kill themselves. They would punch teachers and physically fight teachers. I seen our math teacher was really small, and a dude literally threw her, like she flew off the ground, and he threw her across the room. Sometimes the cops would come in and they would like chase them around the room and stuff. Anyways, I got restrained, and I was put into the little cement room, and I was pissed, and I was like, I'm not staying after. So my mom came, and they told her that they wanted me to stay after for detention, and she was like, she's not, because I told her that I wouldn't. Like, that's stupid. I'm not going to do that. I'm not staying after for 30 minutes. I'll serve it tomorrow. So I didn't stay, and that was the story of how I got restrained. It was pretty bad. Like I said, I did all that, and then I found out I was pregnant, and it immediately changed how I had an outlook on life. I did my work. I didn't do anything that would put my baby in harm. Well, not the music, Bubby. If I was to act out, then they weren't allowed to touch me, but they could call the cops, and the cops could do whatever. Of course, I didn't act out after I got pregnant, because that's what straightened up my act. I was in no more trouble after that. I got all of my work done. I kept really, really good grades. I was just a really, really good student. Of course, I had arguments with other students because other students were witches, but I still got my work done, and I was still a good kid. The school is really bad. Like I said, a lot of bad stuff happens there. It's actually shut down now. There is another facility that does it, but I don't think it's as extreme as it was back then. I don't think the rules are still the same. This was 5 years ago. it's bad. I actually went pee one time, and in the beginning when I first started there, the girls and the boys were together because there was only a few kids, and then it became so bad that there was like a bunch of children, and a majority were males, and then there was like 7 females. There was just a few of us, and we would get sent out of the room to go to a different room to eat, because we didn't want the males and the females clashing. There was trying to be like relationships and things like that, so they didn't want that. And I went pee one time, and when I went pee, this little boy came out